Hey guys, hope you are doing all right. We've got our last week before Thanksgiving break, so let's go over what we've got to do and then some things to look forward to later, all right? The big thing this week is Monday and Tuesday you have exam 4. Excuse me. This is going to be on fungi and plant evolution and diversity. I've given you kind of a heads up the last several weeks, but there's a lot of material on this one. Just be well aware of that. If you're watching this on, like, it'll be available on Saturday, make sure you spend this weekend studying and preparing for this one. This test is not the one you want to slack on, all right? They're going to be open 48 hours just like the other one, so Monday at midnight, excuse me, all the way through Tuesday, 11:59 p.m., all right? This one, about 75 questions, so you'll have a minute per question. That's not that much longer than the other ones that we've had, so just kind of be aware of that. And again, don't let the time limit scare you. Most of you are getting done in much earlier than the time limit. All right. Just be careful about the instructions for your environment video. Be careful about making sure you don't have anything around you. You cannot add anything to your environment after you're done with the environment video. I know I've said this since day one. I'm still having students get zeros because they are cheating during the test. That's the last thing you need if you've made it this far, is to get a 0 right before the end of the semester. All right. So most of you are doing great. Keep doing what you're doing, but just pay attention to those things. All right. After you have taken the exam, you have a discussion board on fungi, and that's going to be due Sunday, November 22nd. And then we have, it's not our last lab, but it's your last hands-on last lab kit lab. All right. We'll have one more after Thanksgiving break, and that one is going to be kind of similar to the fungi lab that we did, where there's not actually any material. It's more worksheet and visual identification stuff and matching. So this is the last one where you're going to have like equipment and go through and do all that, okay? So a couple things real quick. If you will look at the materials you need, it says that you need a blooming dicot plant and a blooming monocot plant. If you will read the instructions, it's going to give you examples of different monocots and dicots that you can use. You can also, Google common monocots, common dicots, and you can use that to find a really good example, all right? So a couple things about this. Some of these are going to be a little harder to find if you have like a iris, for example, that or some type of a plant that if you keep plants, or if you have a family member that grows plants or keeps plants or orchids or anything like that, it's going to ask you to take pictures of the flowers, the stem parts, the leaves. All of that should be okay. It's also going to ask you to take a picture of the roots. I get that, like, if your grandmother has a rose bush that she's really proud of, you can't dig that up. That's fine. So for watching this video, here's your bonus that I'm telling you. I want you to take pictures of all the above ground parts of the plant. But if it asks you for the roots and you don't have permission to do that, you can just, instead of a picture, have a sheet of paper that says did not have permission to dig up plant or could not get picture of roots. If you will do that, I'll give you credit for the roots part, but you still have to do every other part of the plant. Okay? All right. I'm trying to think. Another thing, and I know you probably don't need to be making like any unnecessary trips to stores or the grocery store still with COVID and all that going on. But I'm not going to, and I don't want to get in trouble with grocery stores either, so I'm not saying to do this, but let me tell you what some students have done in the past. If you go to a floral shop, and if it's a floral shop, I would let them know ahead of time, or maybe even the grocery store. But grocery stores usually have floral departments. If they have like roses for sale, you can take a picture of the rose like in the grocery store, and you don't necessarily have to buy it and take it home with you. Just look ahead of time and see all the parts of the flower and the plant that you have to take a picture of. And if you do that, like I said, I'm fine with that. I'm not going to get on to you. The grocery store might be another issue, but I'm not going to tell you not to do that. All right. Okay, so that is the lab. Now, I'm going to make this lab due, excuse me, November 29th, which is next Sunday. It's the Sunday after Thanksgiving break. Okay. The reason I'm doing that is I know a lot of instructors try to give tests right before Thanksgiving break. So mine is early in the week. But if you've got other tests and other classes that are due like Friday or so, I don't want you to have to spend time doing a lab when you've got a whole week off next week. So if it were me, and if you have time, I would go ahead and do the lab now. So you can actually take a whole break, a whole week, not having to think about biology. I think we could all use that, like me included. But if you need that week, if you need this week to do work for other classes, you can wait until next Sunday to do Lab 7, the angiosperms lab. All right. Only other thing is we have the drop date. The deadline to withdraw from any fall classes is going to be Friday, November 20th. All right. So I've said this the last couple weeks, but check your average, see how you're doing in the class. If you're doing well, that's great. Just keep studying, keep doing what you're doing. But what I would do is see what your average is right now. Take exam 4 on Monday or Tuesday, and then see what your average is after that. And if you have any concerns, let me know. If you are failing the course, absolutely get in touch with me, okay? I need you to do that. If your grade is lower than you need it to be, so let's say like you have to have a C for this class to transfer somewhere else, and you've got like a 66D or something like that. If you'll get in touch with me, I can do some quick math and I can tell you a number of you're going to have to make this from here on out to finish with whatever grade you're shooting for. All right? So I would take exam 4 first, so that way we can see what your average is then, and then I can give you a number real quick. All right? Let me know. Now, if, like I said, most of you are doing great. If you're doing great, don't even worry about that. But if you have questions, let me know. The way this works is you can withdraw from the course up until Friday, and it will not show up on your record. You won't have a grade. It won't affect your GPA. After Friday, if you're still in the class, then whatever grade you end up with will be recorded on your transcript. All right? You don't have the option of withdrawing after this Friday. Okay? So that's it. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll be glad to help. Thanks.